Alright, today I'm going to be reacting to Ridin Dirty by UGK. That title sounds familiar. Isn't there that song that's like, "Oh, kiss me riding dirty"? I don't know what song that is, but that's the first thing that pops into my mind. I don't know if it's on this album. I have no idea. I've never heard anything from UGK. 1996, 13 songs. It's an hour and 5 minutes here. The uncut reaction is going to be on Patreon. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to go join that. And yeah, let's hop into it. Let's ride dirty, I guess.
I get treated like the mother.
Let's keep it going. Cool intro. I don't know if this is gonna be boom bap. Oh, I know that sample. What is that from? Maybe it's not a sample. Maybe this is just the original. But I've definitely heard it. Okay, I've definitely heard this. Love this guy's vocals.
Before we died, wish it was twice, man. I remember being a dip off in Chucky crib when we lost some.
This guy's voice, I feel like, is demanding a lot more presence, just has a lot more presence than the first guy. I didn't love the first guy's voice, if I'm being honest. It's a good hook. Sorry about my nasty eating, but
in a house fire, and when I got on my knees that night to pray, I asked God, why you let these killers live and take my homeboy son away? Maybe the next day they gone.
Just great songwriting. Everybody incorporating that kind of refrain, that hook, into their verses. One day you're here, the next day you're gone. Looks like it's just riffing at the end here. I don't really need to sit through that, but it's been a while since I've heard that song. I kind of forgot that song existed. It has way less streams than I thought it would. It has 18 million. I thought that was like a smash hit. Like I said, the first guy's voice I didn't love that much. I thought the second guy brought a lot more presence to the track. Bun B, we have, who's the first guy? 3-2, Bun B, and Pimp C. I know Pimp C, but is Pimp C a part of... See, this is how little I know about UGK. I don't even know who's in the group. Every time I say UGK, I just think of MGK. Pimp C and Bun B. Okay, so it just says it's them. I don't know. I don't know who 3-2 is then, because it's saying Bun B and Pimp C are. I'm not gonna get caught up on that too much. We'll see. I mean, if he's on every track, I'll just assume he's part of UGK, but it might have just been a feature. Great hook, very memorable, very catchy. Just gives that kind of like riding around in the whip, you know, type feel. That was probably the cringiest thing I've ever said, but that's the vibe. Each telling their own little stories here, but again, they all come back to the idea of one day you're here, the next you're gone. So yeah, I like it. It's pretty smooth.
So nigga, fuck what you do. If I told you cocaine numbers, you would think I was lying. Every goddamn day.
Beat's getting a bit repetitive, if I'm being honest. I feel like his verse is not varied enough. It's not really doing it for me. Beat may have to switch up here, but it's probably not going to. I like this rhyme scheme though. I think his verse was better, honestly. So it looks like 3-2. I'm guessing that was a feature, because he's not on this track. Oh, great. Oh, hold on. Let me hear that transition again. Oh, great transition. I can tell by the start of this next track I'm gonna like it, probably. That one, honestly, I'm gonna give it the mid. Hear Me Out. The beat just was too repetitive and stale, and usually I don't have a problem with that, but I don't know, it could have used like a switch up. It could have used like a chorus. I mean, there was this murder chorus, but nothing really changed during the chorus. That one just didn't really hit for me. There was a couple moments where, especially in Bun B's verse, where his flows got really tight, and he just started like listing off these rhymes here: dip, lip, rip, Squeeze, like this part right here with the E's, those rhymes were great to listen to. Obviously, I'm not going to catch every lyric here. A lot of this just seems like very street-centric, growing up in the hood type lyrics, which is fine. But for that track, I think the beat could have switched up a little bit more. So that's my main issue with that one. You ain't ever seen. See, both tracks where we've had a really strong vocalist do a catchy hook, those have been the tracks that I've enjoyed. Another flow I'm liking here. I mean, it's like, I feel like it's pretty simple rhyme schemes, but they're just super like satisfying. I don't know. That was great. This whole verse was amazing. Ever seen? This hook just makes me want to sing, man. I like how they're bouncing off each other here too. So, kind of makes it feel different than the first chorus. I just don't know. I think there was another track where it had this kind of long outro of somebody just kind of riffing, and this, again, while it's not someone singing, it's him rapping. It just feels a little bit pointless, a little bit like filler. Overall, though, that was a great track. Again, there was one point, I mean, pretty much every verse was great. Bun B does a great job of just like hitting these like simple rhyme schemes, but they're just like super satisfying. Again, I'm not a rapper, so they seem simple to me. They might not be simple. I might just be completely off on that. They're very obvious, the rhyme schemes. They hit your ear in a really obvious, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they're just still like super satisfying to listen to. Like sometimes with rappers, you get rhyme schemes that are a little bit more hidden and you don't pick up on them right away, but these are like right out there. You catch them right away, which is really satisfying. I don't know how that's gonna fare on like second listens or more listens. If it's gonna kind of lose its effect, I don't know. But for right now, I'm enjoying it.
And what's fucked up about it, the motherfuckers from your own city or little town or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Them be the worst ones. Fuck 'em.
Oh, scared me. What the heck? Oh, really intricate beat. That funky bass line.
Cause she know the thrill is gone. Say, man, I stopped smoking with haters back in 94.
Love that bass then. Where have I heard that? Talk a lot of shit in a safe place. Oh, there's not an annotation. I feel like maybe I've heard like a newer rapper interpolate that, because I feel like I've heard that exact lyric in like a newer song. Like that line. So is this like where the chopped and screwed kind of sound came from? I don't know. See, this is again stuff that I don't know much about, so this is another one of those tracks where I feel like it's lacking growth within the beat. It's getting repetitive. Ooh, I like that flow. That's good. From night. Oh, okay. It's little things like this that are really making these verses just fun to listen to. Got to the point where I could not decipher day from night. You think he's gonna go night from day? Because he said away before. You think he's going to rhyme with that, but then he switches up and then he rhymes with this, with fight with night on the next line. It's like, I don't know. It's cool. He breaks the rhyme scheme here. You think he just did it intentionally, which I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's a cool little like turnaround, I guess. The vocalists, the rappers are really the thing carrying this right now. The beats are kind of weak. Okay, that's another one that I think I'm gonna have to give the mid. I mean, it's like kind of a high mid, if that makes sense, close to a good. Again, the rappers and the vocalists are really the thing carrying this album for me right now. The beats just aren't really doing it for me. They get repetitive really fast and they lack growth. And I think the song structures could just be a little bit more interesting as well. But like I said, lyrics, fantastic. Rhyme schemes, great. Flows, great. The charisma is obviously up there. I'm not picking up like lyrical content so much. I'm more just picking up like how he's constructing these verses, or how they're constructing these verses, and how they're rhyming things together and kind of turning things. And a couple lines in here that I really liked. Well, I liked this. I'm get erased and misplaced, trying to win the race. I mean, it's easy to understand. You get it right away, but it's still memorable.
Damn, already 3 in the morning, huh? Going down, drink, candy sweets.
Drank. Oh, I thought he said dranky drank, which wouldn't make sense. Another beat that just feels weak. Feels like it's missing something. I like how he's kind of tying in the brotherhood aspect of it too, so it's not all negative, you know? Who's this guy? I like this guy's voice. Another beat that just didn't do it for me. Really repetitive. But vocally, lyrically, great. Acoustic bass, jazzy. Overall, I'm gonna give that the good. It's close to a mid though. Again, it's the same theme is continuing, my same criticisms and praise as well. Lyrically, vocally, in terms of the writing, great. It's just the songwriting and the song structure could be a little bit better. The beat felt very repetitive, very weak throughout that entire track. I mean, it was cool at first. It hooked me at first, but then it just kind of lost me because it didn't evolve at all. Yeah, that's my main complaint. So I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it either. It's kind of just middle of the road.
Looking, man, looking around, I see 2 niggas kissing, man. Shit out of sight. Motherfuckers tongue kissing.
Okay, straight up homophobia. Gotta love it. I mean, it's not surprising. 1996, so.
Hey, fool, listen up, I got a story to tell. This was not a hoe in the sense of having a pussy, but a pussy having no goddamn sense. Trying to push me, he used to hold dick. Now he's teasing.
Okay, this track is not starting off great. I mean, the homophobia at the start, which, again, I know, very common, very prevalent at the time, but it doesn't make it okay at all. And then this line, this was not a hoe in the sense of having no god trying to push me, so he's clarifying that it's not a girl. It's just kind of stupid. It's just kind of like, okay, we know if you would have just went on with your story that it wasn't a female, obviously.
And I hope that this ass whooping teach you a motherfucking lesson. Speak the wrong words, man, and you will get touched deep down in the side.
Here's Mr. 3-2 again. Okay. I don't love his vocals. He sounds just kind of like he's kind of nervous on the track. Weird.
From the back she said, baby, I can't take it. Push my dick up in her heart, a bitch, I'm straight up trying to break it. You a simp ass nigga, you told that bitch that you love her, but I'm straight up fucking that pussy like that nigga off that colors. But I ain't gon' get shot, cause you ain't shooting shit. Let me dead, since you want a nigga dead, fuck that bitch off in his head. Get touched. The wrong words, I'm pounding earth, and you will get touched, cause your ass deserves it.
Okay, I don't want to be like ignorant white boy here. But there is, again, the homophobia at the start, which I just don't like at all. And there's a lot of just blatant misogyny here, and there's misogyny in hip-hop all the time. This sounds bad saying this. Usually it doesn't get on my nerves too much, which that sounds really bad, but it's just like so blatant here. And it's just like, I mean, it should always get on my nerves, but it's just like right in your face here, man. It's like, again, I mean, they just sum it up with this last line right here. You got B-worded, razor-necked, just like a girl. Inherently, that's misogynistic, basically saying being a girl is inherently like a negative thing because in their eyes, they're obviously weaker, which isn't true. But yeah, the misogyny and the homophobia is just so blatant, and just the toxic masculinity and just the stuff I don't really care about. Didn't love it. Least favorite track. Again, I get
shit stank, don't it?
I get how prevalent and how common that was, and honestly kind of still is in hip hop. But it just feels like, why can't we just not do that, you know? Again, I don't want to be I'm trying not to be like too ignorant, because I know there's a lot of factors that go into it, a lot of economic, social, societal factors, you know. Social and societal are the same thing.
Hoes is tripping, man. Choosing they men by what kind of cars they drive. My car, but bitch, who the fuck you think you are? My car, they ain't tripping on me. They wanna fuck my car. And if she can't see I'm a pimp. When she told me I look good, I didn't feel no pride. All the bitch want to do was just fuck my ride.
It's kind of a funny sentiment. It does leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth coming after the last track, like criticizing these women after all the misogyny in the last track. It does leave a little bit of a bad taste, like I said, but I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. Again, with the misogyny, like this verse right here, if you didn't want to fuck, then get out of the truck. Like, I don't know. I mean, if that's what they were agreeing to and then she didn't, I don't know. Then it is kind of messed, but again, it's just subtle. This one's a little bit more subtle, the misogyny, but it's still there. Yeah, this album is not aged well at all. Okay, enough of that. I'm gonna give that one the mid because I feel like it's a little bit more subtle, which does that even make it even worse if it's more subtle? I don't know. Either way, the misogyny is still there. I just really don't like the attitude of this track and the sentiment of it. Like I said, it is almost kind of a funny thing, the fuck my car kind of idea. You just want to, you know, the idea of gold diggers, obviously. But again, coming after the last track especially, it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth, and it's not a good look. It is not a good look. I was thinking during that track, I'm kind of comparing this in my mind to Outkast. I feel like that's the most direct point of comparison because they both have that kind of southern style, and it's both from the same kind of time era. But I feel like Outkast, there was subtle hints of misogyny and homophobia and stuff, but it was not as strong as this. Yeah, like Outkast stuff, it's not nearly as misogynistic or homophobic or just toxic in general. I feel like the albums I've heard from them are a lot more introspective, at least a lot more just like critical thinking. I feel like this, I was kind of enjoying it to start, but these last two tracks, they've just kind of come across as assholes, if I'm being honest.
You know what I'm saying? Every single day, man.
Oh my god, man. Boring ass track. Boring track. They lost me, man. They lost me. I don't know if they're going to be able to win me back over. At the start of the album, I was enjoying it. It wasn't like, I wasn't loving it, but it was at least somewhat enjoyable for me. But these last three, again, I feel like the homophobia and just the toxicity kind of just left a bad taste on my mouth, and now I'm just like in a bad mood, which is kind of my fault as a reviewer because I feel like one song shouldn't necessarily impact my view of other songs, but at the same time I feel like it's not really getting any better. It's just kind of just average in my opinion. This album got really highly rated on Album of the Year too, which is kind of surprising to me. When are most of these reviews from? Most of the reviews are pretty recent. I mean, there's only 2 critic reviews, 93 critic score. I just feel like it hasn't aged well, and I just feel like if I want to go back to this gangster rap kind of style, these guys aren't really offering me anything more than Outkast does. And then putting on top of that the blatant just misogyny and homophobia, it just kind of turns me off. Did I give that a rating? I don't think I did. I'm gonna give it the mid. I know this video is gonna get so much like hate because I know whenever I do like an old classic album, I don't know if UGK has like a cult following or like a super strong fan base, but I'm guessing they do. Whenever I do a classic old album and I don't really like it that much, it's bad. It's bad. So I'm just expecting that. I can't do anything really to change it, but I'm trying, I guess. I don't know.
Tired of living bad. Tired of hearing grandmama tell me when you gonna go to church, Chad. And I'm trying to live up to the image that she would want to see. But I got one foot in the
Here we go. Here's some introspection.
Here's
Here's that critical thinking and like introspection that I was wanting.
Wonder why your niggas out there smoking dry. I
Talking about AIDS, I'm guessing.
a rubber every time, but if I told you that we living that high life.
This is pretty good. Outros are way too long, man. But that was a good track. That was a solid track. I don't want to be too pretentious here and like be that guy that thinks that hip hop always has to have like deep lyrics or like, you know, the lyrical miracle people, especially white people that think they have to like save hip hop. You know, I hate that because there's lots of stupid just lyrics in hip hop artists with not much depth lyrically that I love. Obviously Travis Scott is solid in terms of modern artists. Playboi Carti, of course. I feel like though with these guys, when they do those more just standard braggadocious tough guy lyrics, I don't really, it's not that I don't buy it, but it just doesn't strike me in the same way that like if Playboi Carti was like talking about the same stuff, his energy and his just the young nature of his voice and just the overall vibe and atmosphere of the music really sells that and makes it really fun and entertaining. This obviously it's more laid back, so the youthful kind of less deep lyrics don't really hit as hard, in my opinion, but when they do go into this introspective social commentary kind of bag, it hits a little bit harder just because of the nature of the flows and the laid-back, chill kind of vibe of the music. Overall, really enjoyed that. Definitely better than the 3 before it.
Wow, those motherfuckers kissing, man. They still kissing.
Oh, okay. We're back.
Niggas jacking their dick up under the cover.
Again, I'm not like necessarily mad at them personally. I'm just more kind of like, it's just more upsetting that this was like the norm at the time, I guess. You can't really like blame the individual because, well, it's still not okay. Everybody, like that was again the norm. You gotta more blame just kind of the society that they were surrounded in. But again, they were part of society. I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation.
Looking, tighten up, trying to tighten up. Where the hoes?
What's this beat?
Shit it, but I bought no flicks. Ain't talking about the Malcolm, but I'm riding on the X. The hobby was so wet.
That's a weak bar, man. I feel like I've heard that bar like 20,000 times. Weak chorus. Ooh. Jump scare, man. That's cool though. I love the accents here. Like the accenting of certain words with the doubled vocals. I mean, it's a common technique, but I feel like they used it really well there. I don't love this hook though. The melody is just a little bit awkward. That was alright. I'm gonna give that one the mid again. Didn't love the chorus. The beat was kind of weak. Lacked progression. Another one of my main critiques throughout this video. But overall, vocally, it was pretty solid again. This is just like, I don't know. I just don't really see myself ever coming back to it. If I want to go to this kind of stuff, I'll just go to Outkast. They just make more creative, more varied, more exciting, more thought-provoking music. So yeah, I'm not saying if you listen to this you're like lesser by any means, but it's not really for me. Ridin Dirty, is this the one?
Man, it's Ridin Dirty.
Camera died.
Big birds and tight herb fool, I'm riding dirty.
Those synth strings, man, they're kind of goofy.
They tried to finish me but couldn't get it done. So somebody told the lost big boy was the one riding dirty.
Good storytelling in that verse.
Somebody told the lost big boy was the one riding dirty.
Another sentiment that I like this track. Kind of commenting again on the societal kind of factors that can kind of put someone in this place where they are riding dirty. I don't know. I don't need these outros, man. I don't need them. They don't add anything. They don't contribute anything to me, at least. They're just kind of filler. That was good though. I like that. I like the sentiment. Like I said, another pretty solid track. At least there was no, I mean, there might have been some, but there was no misogyny, no homophobia. So, I mean, I guess that's really all you can ask for. Overall, it was a nice vibe, like the social kind of commentary that we got going on here. And yeah, let's keep going on to the last track, which is 9 minutes. Oh, please don't drag.
Dog, them sideways in the pen. Your boy for the break around. Damn, look at this nigga. Man, them motherfuckers
No.
still kids.
Okay. So that's like a running theme throughout this album. So he's in prison, I guess? Maybe? Yeah.
I'll shake and snitches, kiss stitches.
You never go in the showers by yourself, apparently.
Roll up, I get folded up.
I know that from my time in prison, obviously. Oh, sensual. Sexy. Smooth. Are they on the same label as Outkast? Wanted to... I don't know. Little organ riff. If it's just shouting out for 9 minutes, I'm tapping out. I'm sorry. That's fine. It's like end credits, basically. But who's sitting through the end credits of a movie? Don't hate me, but I'm skipping it. I get the idea. Yeah, it's cool instrumental, funky, sensual, kind of slow, kind of smooth. So yeah, that's it for this album. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, you guys probably saw this coming throughout the video. If I'm being honest, I didn't love it. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but I don't need it, you know? It's just like, there's no point for me to come back to this, you know? I'm not even going to give that last track a rating because I just skipped through it. But I guess, I mean, it would be cool for, like, the fans. Like, if I'm thinking, like, right now, if, like, Brockhampton did that, I would probably enjoy it, but it's just, I don't know the lore, you know? So it's not really that important to me. That's gonna do it. Overall, I thought this album was just okay. Probably in that, like, 5-ish out of 10 range, which is probably crazy for lots of people. It's definitely considered a classic. Again, album of the year. Freaking 93 critic score. Lots of people love it. I just don't really see the hype, really. The vocalists are definitely, and just the rhyme schemes and the flows are definitely the highlight of this album. The misogyny, the homophobia, didn't love that, obviously. Beats were a little bit lackluster. Some cool song ideas, definitely. I think the song structures could have been a little bit better. They could have grown more and just switched up a little bit more. That's gonna do it for this video. Those are my thoughts on UGK's Ridin Dirty. We didn't get the smash hit. What is that song? I gotta figure it out now. You don't catch me riding dirty. Is it this? No. Yeah. This is the song I was thinking about. Chamillionaire? Goodness, look at this cover, man. What is that cover? What is this from? 2005. I'd probably take the UGK album over this song any day of the week, but yeah, that's gonna do it. Leave a like if you want, dislike if you want, subscribe if you're feeling up to it. I will see you guys in the next video. Go join the Patreon. Bye. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. You might as well just subscribe. You got nothing else better to do, so why not just, subscribe. Hit it.